All right, you guys. Well, I'm back at it out here in my usual night hunting spot, and Skinny made fun of me on the last when she was watching the last video. She made fun of me a little bit for being so impressed by how much life was out here, and yeah, I don't know if anybody else enjoys it as much as I do, but I imagine so. But I mean, there's a flounder right there. There's a flounder right there. Again, these are tiny. I mean, these are tiny little flounder. Like that one is about 3 inches long. That one a little bit smaller. There's some kind of eel or something right there. I have no idea what kind of eel that is, but it's kind of cool. There's another flounder right there. I saw a little crab. There he is. There's a crab right there. And these rocks here are just loaded with shrimp. I don't want to disturb everything. If I walk in the water right here, it's going to disturb everything. But there's also a fish tucked up inside. Try not to disturb this eel here or these. There's a little fish tucked up right there. I don't know if you can see it. It's right in the middle of the screen right now. If I zoom in any with this camera, for whatever reason, it turns off the flash. But let me try it. Oh, maybe it didn't. Right in the middle. Let me find it. There. I mean, he's just below the water surface, like an inch below the water surface, tucked up in those oyster shells. And can you see all the shrimp below him? Look at all those eyes. Oh, I'm getting bit right on my head by a mosquito. Look at all those, I mean, eyes down. It's so hard to tell where this is looking. A bunch of shrimp down there. There's just so much stuff in here. And I love it. I love it. There's a lizard fish. Where'd it go? Oh, there's a lizard fish right in front of that. Little flounder, little lizard fish. But I'm telling you, they're tiny, man. They're tiny. This eel is really cool. He's got like a real long snout. So much stuff in here. So I've seen the water. Let me zoom back out. I've seen the water all the way down past the end of this stick here, but that's on the king flood tide. Right now we're just over. Oh shoot! I'm stuck in the mud here again, and kind of makes it hard to keep your balance. Dang it! Oh, jeez. I said this one of the last videos out here about how this mud has gotten so bad that I've never seen it this bad out here. And they're dredging out in the main river just off of the mouth of this creek. They're dredging, so I don't know if maybe it's kicking up a whole bunch of mud and then it's bringing it up into the river when the tide comes up, and it's settling up here, and that's what's making the mud so bad here. But man, it makes it almost impossible to walk up here. But I find good stuff here, so I'm gonna keep doing it. All right. Well, I'm not having too much luck finding any shark teeth, but I did find this little guy, this little fish, doing his little sweepy sweep dance. I don't know what he's doing. He's keeping that area clean, I guess. Kind of funny. He's got a hole there. He goes in. He goes underneath that rock behind him. There's a shrimp on top of it. He goes underneath that rock behind him, and then comes out and does that sweepy sweep dance. It's kind of funny. I have found a couple of broken pieces and shards as usual, but nothing yet to Nothing really yet worth mentioning. But I'm still holding out hope. The tide's already turned around and it's on its way back in, so I'm gonna be going over to the other side of the road here pretty soon. So I know I call this kind of my secret spot, and people probably wonder why I say that, being that I'm sure you've seen the bridge in the video, and you can hear cars going by on a somewhat regular basis while I'm here, so probably thinking, how can it be secret? Where it seems like it'd be an obvious place, you know, a creek going underneath a road with traffic. But that road, this property is private property, and that road, the entirety of that road is on this private property. So of course both sides of that bridge are and this property has, oh, there's a crab. It's a green crab, maybe, or a rock crab. I think they call it actually a rock crab. It's not I don't think it's really a species that people eat. Probably use it for bait though. So there's relatively limited access. Obviously not very limited, but relatively limited access to this property, including that road, including this creek, at least in this stretch. So, although it's not a quote-unquote secret spot, it's a spot with limited access. So that's why I call it my secret spot. And the people that I've brought here before have access to this property. Obviously, as do I. And the rest of the people, you know, the other people that also have access to the property, of those people that have access to the property, they might not, you know, think that this is even something they can do here. So that's why I say this spot is, so another flounder there, right in the middle of the, getting some top pond scum coming through. So that's why I say this spot is quote-unquote secret. It's just because of the limited access and because of the few people that do have access that would probably even do this. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Shrimp is freaking out. Yeah, this side was kind of a dud tonight, and it happens. So I'm gonna pull up here and swing around to the other side and see if that is any more productive. See if I can find that shard that I found earlier. Is really the only one that I found today in here. Yeah, there it is. So I found that shard right there. And that's really the only one. That's really all I found today here. Would have been a nice tooth. Would have been a real nice tooth. Two different colors, kind of a reddish and a black. It's cool. Would have been nice, but that's all I was able to come up with. And another smaller shard down here somewhere. Oh, right there. Right there. Smaller shard right there. But that's it. Oh, as I'm saying that, there's a piece of a vertebrate right there. But it's just a piece. So I don't know if you can tell how deep that is. That's one of my footsteps from earlier. I mean, it's deep. Trying not to get in that mess again. Might have to walk out a little bit farther into the water to find some harder ground. There's a crab. tide is right, I can walk down around there, and that is actually pretty hard out there. But the mud is all deposited up in here, and man, it's tough to get. It's easy to get into, tough to get out of. Crabby, before my mud catches up to him. Sorry, buddy. Sorry, here it comes. Sorry. Oh goodness. And I'm telling you, those no-see-ums, they almost hurt. Well, actually, they do hurt. It's not almost. They do hurt. They hurt when they bite. And then they itch really bad. Worse than mosquito. I think they're worse than a mosquito. Both the bite and the itch, in my opinion, are worse than a mosquito. What is that? That's weird. What is that? I think, oh, look at that crab. Crab down there holding on to some kind of shell. Oh, another crab shell. It's another crab shell. I wonder if he was eating them. This, I think, is an old spike of some kind. It's kind of cool. It's an old metal spike. It's pretty wild. I think that's what that is. There's that eel still. He didn't go far. So I come down here to wash my hands, and as soon as I do, this thing is staring at me. A Hemi. I don't think it has its root at all. But let's see. Nope, no root. No root. So I found another one of those eels. And man, it did something funny, so I want to see if I can get it to do it again. These things actually, there you go, it's kind of doing it. Let's see, it's kind of, it might be kind of hard to see. So when I touched its tail, it did some kind of like dance. There it goes. They almost look like a seahorse. It's like a seahorse eel. That is funny. Let's see if he does it again. Oh, there's another one. Huh. I've seen 3 now tonight, and this is the first time I've ever even seen them. Now I've seen 3 already tonight. The other one over there and these 2. They're cool. So I was caught in another video I made. I was talking about these guys, and I was calling them fiddler crabs, and they're not. They're not fiddler crabs. And I probably should have done my research before I even started doing this, but they're square-backed something or other crabs, and they're not fiddler crabs, and they seem to be, there's another one, they seem to be adjacent to water, but they don't, see, there's a spider too. They like hang out like adjacent to water, but not right on it. Whereas fiddler crabs, you'll see them like right on the water's edge. These guys seem to be up on like this little cliff and up around this type of wood like this, logs. That's where these square crabs seem to be. And I just thought they were female fiddler crabs, which the males are the ones that have the real big, the real big claws that make them look like, well, fiddler crabs. And so I went out behind the house the other day, out near the creek, or right behind our house actually, and right in our backyard. And I caught a whole bunch of these squareback guys, and I used them for bait, trying to catch sheep's head. And all I caught was one toadfish, which actually we happened to eat, and it wasn't that bad. That's a whole nother story. There's another one there. One of these squareback crabbies. So they're different, and I don't know if it's just that they're not as tasty as maybe actual fiddler crabs, or if just they're, you know, whatever, the sheep's head just weren't biting that day or what. But they're different, and I didn't catch anything on them, so I feel bad for drowning a whole bunch of them for no reason. But anyway, I just wanted to correct myself. They're not fiddler crabs.